For this video, I'm going to react on pera investment na laging nire-request both in my YouTube channel and in my Patreon platform. But first, if you want exclusive investing related contents in the Philippine stock market, check the pinned comment. So itong pera na to is naka-cover ko na to dati on my YouTube channel. Nung nagiging maingay siya, and during that time, ang pera is in-offer lang siya mostly ng mga bangko, and meron silang product, an ecosystem of pera investment product na mostly UITF and mutual funds. Na personally, I'm not a big fan of UITF and mutual funds because of yung nilang matataas na annual management fee. Typically, nagre-range around 1% to 1.5%. For some investors, maybe okay sa inyo yon, but para sa akin, I think pataas. So fast forward today, mention sa aking Patreon na ang Dragonfly daw, which is a new brokerage account, is offering a different kind of pera investment, or pera concept. So first of all, what is pera? It's a retirement account, na yung pera parang ginagaya lang nila yung ino-offer sa US, okay? Kasi sa US nag-offer sila ng mga retirement accounts din. Pag sinabi mong retirement account, parang may mga ka dyan, tax benefit. So may maximum ka na pwedeng ilagay dyan every year. And yung ilagay mo na pera doon, bibili ka ng certain investment product, ganyan. And then eventually kakaroon ka ng mga tax benefit. Okay, so ito yung isa, Roth IRA. Na siguro pag nakikinig kayo ng mga podcast siguro, discussion about the US market, mababanggit nila to, mga Roth IRA, 401k. So parang ganyan yung concept ng pera. Ngayon, ano yung tax benefit sa Pilipinas? Tingnan yung FAQ ng pera, or better yet, you talk to your accountant, okay? Ngayon, successful ba itong dalawang to sa US, yung 401k and IRA? The answer is yes. Very successful siya. Ngayon, yung success ng IRA and 401k, mare-replicate pa siya sa Pilipinas? That I don't know. Personally, I think mahirap siyang i-replicate sa Pilipinas. So first of all, bakit successful siya sa US or maybe other countries na nag-offer ng mga ganyan, tax advantage account, retirement account? Kasi nakadepende yun sa product within that or investment product na pwede mong bilhin within that retirement account. Kasi example sa US, diba, sa US kasi uso na doon yung mga tinatawag na low cost investment product na typically mga exchange traded fund na low cost, ganyan. Kaya siya sumikat, okay? Na in the Philippines, I don't think we have a low cost investment product. So what do you mean by low cost investment product? Kasi pag bibili ka ng mga product like UITF, mutual funds, ETF, ganyan, hindi yan libre. May binabayaran ka niyan na tinatawag na annual management fee. And let me give you an example, So sa Pilipinas, ang pinaka-index natin, PSEI, which is ito, and you have certain investment product na nagtatrack neto. So sa ngayon, I think there's only one, and that is FMETF. And what is the annual management fee of FMETF? 0.5%, okay? Meanwhile, kunyari yung counterpart niya like US market, diba? S&P 500. So may nagtatrack din doon. SPY ang nagtatrack niyan, and madami pa eh. Hindi lang SPY. SPY is just one of those low cost product na nagtatrack ng S&P 500. And eto, alam mo ba, ang annual management fee neto is only 0.09. Big difference yan. Okay. Huge difference, especially kapag kinompound mo yung annual management fee na yan for a span of 20 plus years. Especially habang lumalaki ng lumalaki yung value ng investment mo, diba? Sisingil at sisingilin nila yan. Okay. So let's say 0.5%, diba? Divided by 100, and then let's say initial investment of 100,000. Okay. So maniningil sila ng 500 pesos per year. Ngayon pag dinagdagan mo yung investment mo, or lumalaki ng lumalaki yung value ng investment mo, syempre yung annual management fee umangat yan ng umaangat. Okay. Meanwhile, SPY 0.09 divided by 100, halos wala nang binabayaran dito eh. Di ba? 100,000. Ayan so maniningil sa 90 pesos. Ngayon, in the case of FM ETF, malit pa lang kasi siya, Pag tinignan mo yung market cap nito, kundi pa lang yung bibili nito, di ba? Only 1.3 billion. Mas malit pa siya sa mga small cap na companies out there. So, sobrang liit pa niya. Maybe pag lumaki-laki siya, maybe around siguro mga 100 plus, 200 plus billion. Baka doon na siya, doon na siya magbawas ng expense ratio. Okay? Ngayon, may exchange traded fund yan. What if mutual fund yung binili mo, which is 1%, di ba? Ayan, and then 100k. So, 1,000 yung sisingilin nila sa'yo every year. And I'm not joking, may mga mutual funds yan, sisingilin nila sa inyo is 1.25, 1.5% per year. Na pag in-excel mo yan, okay, na compounding calculator, malaki difference yan, okay? And with that expense ratio, expense fee, annual management fee ng mga investment product na yan, di ba? Doon din magbibis paano mo i-market yung product eh. And tong mga to, syempre, namimito nito ng cash dividend. So, FMETF for some reason dito namimigay ng cash dividend, pero every time na minimension ko dyan on my channel, may mga nagko-comment, naka-bake in na daw yung dividend yield sa nilang price action. Possible, I don't know. Kasi kung tinitingnan mo yung price action ng FMETF tsaka PSEI, di hamak na mas maganda talaga yung capital appreciation ng FMETF compared to PSEI. So yung difference nung kanilang ayan yung 84k versus 91k, maybe yan na siguro yung sinasabi nilang naka-bake in na dividend yield. And ang isa pang goal kasi ng pera, bakit pinopromote nila yan? Kasi it will provide additional liquidity sa ating stock market. Assuming, let's say, na market nila yan ng tama and madaming Pilipino nag-adapt, nag-open up ng kanilang pera account and continuously silang nagko-contribute on that pera account. And on that pera account, bumibili sila ng let's say mga investment product na nagtatrack ng PSEI. So ang mangyayari, all those retirement fund na pumapasok on that pera, additional liquidity yun, potentially it will create buying pressure. Therefore, maybe ma-improve yung price action ng PSEI. Just like what happens in US market, 'di ba? Sa sobrang dami ng doon, mga tao doon na may kanya-kanyang retirement account, continuously nag-i-inject ng pondo sa nilang retirement account, bumibili ng mga investment product na nagtatrack ng US market. So continuously may liquidity yung kanilang market. So maybe yan yung nakikita nila na isang dahilan bakit mabubuhay ang PSEI. Well, we're not sure. We'll see. Kasi for that to happen, kailangan mo ng mass adoption eh. Ang problema ko, hindi lang yung nag-invest na Pilipino sa sa Pilipinas, I think less than 2%. Ngayon with pera and in collaboration with employer, kapag yung mga employer, sila na mismo yung mag-open up ng retirement account sa nilang mga employee, then maybe it's a different case. Yung mindset ng mga Pilipino na may trabaho about investing in the stock market. Ngayon, going back to Dragonfly Pera Investment, pagkakaintindi ko is that Itong platform na to is hindi lang basta investment product yung i-offer nila like mutual funds, UITF, ETF. Ito, nakalagay sa nilang website, pwede ka rin daw bumili ng dividend paying stocks. Pwede rin bumili ng REIT, which is advantage sa'yo yun kasi kapag naka-receive ka ng dividend, di ba? 10% na tax on dividend. Pero pag pag nakapasok siya sa loob ng isang pera investment, blah blah blah, or pera account, syempre may mga tax benefit na yan. Pero again, may maximum ka lang na pwedeng i-contribute sa isang pera account per year. Pwede mo rin daw bilhin yung top 30 Philippine stocks. So itong dividend paying stocks na ba to? Lahat ba ng namimigay ng dividend or just a few dividend paying stocks? Blah blah blah. That's a question na pwede mong taruin sa nila. Yeah, money market, bond, and equity funds. Dito na papasok yung mga mutual fund, exchange traded fund, blah blah blah. Ngayon, yung advantage and disadvantage ng isang pera account as a retail investor? So obviously, advantage yan is yung tax advantage. Again, kapag dividend investor ka, 10% tax on dividends, medyo malaki yun, no? Masakit. Bato na retirement account, maybe mawawala yung 10% na yon or mabawasan. Okay. Ngayon, ang disadvantage yan is ang pera account is for mostly naka-design yan for passive investor. Di ka pwedeng yan, no, yung buy and sell, in and out, ganyan. Papasok ka ng pera mo and then eventually lalabas mo lang, walang ganun, no. I think may mga penalties kang makakaharap pag ganun ginawa mo, or baka hindi ka payagan na maglabas ng pera until ma-met mo yung certain time frame, blah blah blah. Kunyari ito, Roth IRA, blah blah blah, both earnings on the account and withdrawals after age 59 and a half are tax free. So doon mo makuha yung benefit. And then yung 401k, ito naman yung mga benefits niya, blah blah blah. So things to know, funds are generally accessible without penalty after age 59 and a half. Earlier withdrawals often incur a 10% penalty plus taxes. So, pang yan, buy and hold. Pang passive investor yan. Kaya nga, yung mga Roth IRA na yan, 401k, ang kadikit talaga yan is yung mga investment product na designed for passive investor like mga money market funds, bond funds, or yung mga market cap weighted na mga indexes like kunyari sa US, SPY, QQQ, ganyan. Noong sa Pilipinas yan, syempre, mga FM ETF, mga ganon, or maybe other mutual funds na nagtatrack ng PSEI kasi ang PSEI nagre-rebalance to itself every year, di ba? Or twice a year. So may automatic rebalancing siya na nagaganap. So REIT, siguro pwede kasi magbibili ka ng REIT. Ang habol mo lang dyan is yung mga, mga dividends, no? And then the economy, suddenly, magbo-boom siya. So unang bibilin pag ganyan is yung yung investment product na nagtatrack ng PSEI. Ngayon, meron sila rito, okay, retirement potential. Pwede mong laruin. Okay. So let's say a certain typical Pilipino contribute siya 10,000 daw per month. And assuming 30 years until retirement yung nilagay ko diyan. However, dito magkakatalo sa expected annual return. So ang market cap weighted na mga index like kunyari sa US, S&P, ang return naman is eventually papalo siya 8 to 10%. Obviously sa PSEI, malabo yung 8 to 10% ngayon. Siguro pag nag-start ka mga 20 plus years ago, makukuha mo yung 8 to 20% na yon. Or I should say 8 to 20. 8 to 10% na yon. So kunyari, nag-start ka lang nung 2013. Obviously wala kang di magpapakita yung 8 to 10% na yon. So, i-extend mo yung time horizon mo, blah, 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 until gumawa ng bull market ang PSEI na eventually it will happen. Ang stock market, cyclical lang yan eh. Kaya nga, like kong sinasabi on my channel, kung magpapasok ka ng investment mo on certain, investment product, no, na tatrack ng isang market, dapat minimum 20 years talaga eh. Mas maganda 20 to 30 years para ma-experience mo yung bull cycle tsaka bear cycle. Okay. Na PSEI, kapag nadaanan mo yung both the bull and bear cycle, potentially mga around yan 8%, no. Maybe 10% kapag nasa peak ka ng or magre-retire ka sa peak ng isang bull cycle. So assuming 8%, di ba, and 10,000 per month, tatanungin mo yung sarili mo, 13.6 million kasya na ba sa'yo yan? After 30 years or during your retirement years? If hindi, tatasan mo pa yung yung monthly contribution mo. Ganun yung ibig sabihin nito. Ayan, 'di ba? So every time na tinatasan mo yung monthly contribution mo, obviously umangat yung potential value ng investment mo. Or kung hindi mo kayang tasan yung monthly contribution mo, lalakihan mo yung years kung gaano ka katagal magtrabaho. Ayan, 35, ayan, okay. Ngayon, what if na lang, no? What if MP2 na lang? Kasi MP2, di ba? Kasi 8% di yan sigurado eh. Volatile nga daw ang market eh. So what if MP2 na lang? Kasi MP2 recently namimigay daw ng 7%. Sa ngayon yun, kasi mataas yung prevailing interest rate eh. Kapag in-average mo yung yield ng isang MP2 for let's say, for the past 10 to 15 years, papalo lang yan around 4%, no? Maybe 4.5, ganyan. Kasi there will be periods in time in the future na babagsak yung binibigay niya na yield, di ba? Kasi ang interest rate hindi pwedeng mataas siya for a very long time. Kapag mataas ang interest rate ng sobrang tagal na period, may mali sa economy mo nun. E kapag may mali sa economy, do you think masosustain yung demand on housing? I don't think so, di ba? So, pwede mong ring gamitin yung calculator na to for your Pag-ibig MP2 na 10,000 monthly contribution. 30 years na mag-invest ka on MP2 and for the 30 years, maglalaro yung kanyang yield from high to low, blah blah blah, and on average 4%, ito yung makuha mo. Okay. So for now, I'm not that excited with Pera retirement account kasi in the first place I'm not a fan of PSEI, blah blah blah. Pero ako lang yun, no. For most retail investors, especially yung mga talaga namang walang kalamalam sa stock market, ayaw mag-aral, ganyan, walang time mag-aral, blah blah blah, then I think the best path forward for you to start investing is maybe opening up a Pera account, no, or a retirement account, and maybe buy those equity funds nagtatrack ng PSEI and maybe some REITs na bibigyan ng dividend, and continuously mo lang silang bilhin for at least 20 years, no? 20 to 30 years.